Hi everybody, welcome to this video here on G4G, Games for Gamers. I'm your host, Napalm Dawn, and today I'm doing something a little bit different for this video. Rather than a video on a particular topic of a game, or something new for a game, or a new hero, or a new patch, or something like that. Today I want to open this up to the first thing that I've ever done like this on the channel, and that's have a debate video. Not a one-way communication where I want to talk about stuff and I want you guys to listen, but more of I want to talk about my thoughts on something, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. I want to see if they differ, if they're the same, if they're a slightly different take on any of this. So, for the last 24 hours or so, I've been in a debate over the ownership of digital goods and what is entitled to you when dealing with digital goods. And that could be anything from the expansion of a game like Legion for World of Warcraft, Rise of Iron for Destiny, Tiny Tina's Dragon Keep and Borderlands 2, to actual in-game items such as a hero or a skin in League of Legends or Heroes of the Storm, or purchasing a loot box in Overwatch, or having cards in Hearthstone that you purchased via a pack rather than just encountering while playing. Here in World of Warcraft, going into the store and getting a pet like Brightpaw, or a mount like the Grinning Reaver at $25. That's what I mean by digital goods. And of course then there is digital currency, such as in Candy Crush buying gold bars that later then can be converted into a booster, or the ability to get extra moves on a level required to pass it or something like that. So, what this debate was is that on the Facebook page of a Marvel Avengers Alliance content creator, the discussion about the game being dead, so Marvel Avengers Alliance was announced in the beginning of September that it was going to die in the end of September. And we all had, mixed feelings and everything about that, and different responses to the whole situation. And as you know from some of my videos on the subject, I'm perhaps not as affected as some people.
What's your story?
And that doesn't mean I love the game any less than the last person, or spent real money on it any less, or anything of that degree. It's just, I sort of know the game by now. I know how it works in the gaming industry, and I know these things kind of happen. And to be honest, my main emotional investment in a game would probably be what you see here, is World of Warcraft. If this game decides to suddenly stop, this is where I might be the most affected and sad. So, what this debate was is that he felt there should be some refunds given. And not the refunds that were given for the stuff in August, just refunds for stuff like gold sale weapons and lockboxes and whatnot. And I'm like, dude, you're kidding. Like, your sense of entitlement is showing drastically. And I hate to say that because it's really popular on SJWs, like, your sense of entitlement because you're a white male. And I don't mean that. I just mean, like, you're kind of being bitchy about it, and No, you're not entitled to that kind of stuff because A, gold sale weapons were bonuses. What you were buying was the gold. The weapon was always a bonus. Just like you go into McDonald's and you buy a 10-piece chicken McNugget, the sauce is not what you're buying. It doesn't increase the cost of your nuggets. It's not like you can say, I don't want sauce, and all of a sudden your nuggets are 20 cents cheaper. The sauce is a bonus, as is the case for a gold sale weapon. He's like, well, I bought lock boxes and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, you bought the in-game currency called gold. You completed that transaction, and then when you use the gold for something else, too bad, so sad. That's the end of it. If you purchase gold, and then they took the gold away from you, you have a case for a refund and everything like that. But that's the end of the story. And then the plot even got worse for this guy, because he admitted he had quit the game. So he was looking for a refund for stuff on a game that he had quit God knows how long ago, and a refund on stuff that he purchased God knows how long ago. Like, where is the statute of limitations on this? You know, we're not talking about stuff that you got in August, which may have been considered the shady period of the game,
to see my brethren reduced to
where
such a
you
state.
could make the case
There is
that,
nothing left for them now but
okay,
hunger.
people knew
Please.
in Playdom the game was wrapping up and they had this big sale, which was like, go on, take the money and run. Woo, woo, woo. Go on and rake over the scrubs and run. Woo, woo, woo. I mean, it's a little different than what this guy was going for, and Facebook was giving away a lot of refunds on that if you did a ticket. But beyond that, where does your ownership of digital goods
Do not cross nature's garden.
end?
Ours is the
How
strength of the
far
wild.
does your claim go on digital goods, and for how long? If you purchased a direct item and used it 2 years ago, do you really think you're gonna get money for that back
Hardly a match
now?
for our strength.
You know, I mean, if I was a League of Legends player, and back in 2014, I got a skin for a League of Legends champion. Okay? And now, at the end of 2016, they're like, okay, League of Legends is no more. We're shuttering the game. You won't be able to connect anymore. Stay tuned for a brand new product from this studio. Do you really think you're going to get a refund for something that you bought 2 years ago? Don't you think that statute runs out? Don't you think you consumed the purchased product enough for it to count at that point? I mean, yeah, if you went and bought a hero bundle in Marvel Heroes in the beginning of October, and in the end of October, they're like, yep, sorry, game's wrapping up, and, 15 days later, the game is closed, you really might have a case at that point. But where does it end? For you, is it a time thing? But I'll be getting to that. So I wanted to talk about digital goods and kind of these examples. A lot of us are just gonna know and understand. So for example, gold bars in Candy Crush, the gold currency in Marvel Avengers Alliance, expansion packs, and direct store items like Destiny and World of Warcraft, and like the skins and the heroes of things like League of Legends and HOTS and taunts and skins and sprays and emotes and everything in Overwatch. And, Hearthstone card game card packs that got opened and then gave you cards. So that's kind of what I mean about digital goods. And then I'm going to jump into a second category of digital goods as media. Full albums on, say, like an iTunes, or full movies on a streaming service like Amazon Prime.
Have my gratitude, champion.
So, okay, let us take World of Warcraft right here as an example, okay? In World of Warcraft, we have the store. We have the mounts and the pets. If I purchase an item in 2016... and in 2018, Blizzard's like, we are done. The game is no more. This engine is old. It is out of date. We can no longer build a game on this engine. We are canceling Blizzard. You have 3 months to enjoy the game. We will not produce new content for the game. And you will be able to run around in the existing content for another 3 months. And then you will no longer be able to connect. Are you going to feel that Blizzard owes you refunds for your subscriptions? Are you going to believe that Blizzard owes you refunds for your products that you bought, like the mount or that pet for $25, $10? Heroes of the Storm. You buy the new Zarya package today for $14, and you get Zarya, and you get an alternate skin, and you get a giant mount that's perfect for her tumbler body. So, a Volkswagen, okay? So you have the hero, and you have the skin, and you have the Volkswagen car. And then around Christmas, they're like, okay, Heroes of the Storm didn't take off. We wanted it to be an esport. It's not doing as well as we'd hope. Not enough people are watching it on Twitch. Not enough revenues coming in. League of Legends is a giant. Dota's a giant. Blah, blah, blah. We can't compete. Are you going to feel that you are owed the money from 2-3 months back in time buying like a hero bundle or buying anything that you might have bought in Heroes of the Storm for direct money?
Remember.
Is that how you're going to feel? If you put money into Candy Crush by buying gold bars, and then you converted those gold bars into boosters to pass a level, like get one of those chocolate sprinkle things, or, hey, you only need one thing left, but you're out of moves. Do you want to buy 10 more moves for 2 gold or something like that? And they're like, King Games says, okay, Candy Crush is dead. You can no longer connect to Candy Crush servers. Thank you for years of playing Candy Crush. Are you going to try to claim money for that, or are you going to have the opinion of, like me, oh well, too bad, so sad, that is the very nature of the game. Game in the hypothetical sense, not game as in the game. World of Warcraft, Candy Crush, Marvel Avengers Alliance, Marvel Heroes, etc. The nature of the business, I guess you could say. What's your feeling on that? Do you feel that beyond August and July in Marvel Avengers Alliance, that somebody, Facebook or Playdom, owed you money? Do you think you're owed money for stuff earlier in 2016, 2015, 2013, 2012 when the game first came out? I don't. I don't care what money I spent to complete a lockbox set, or money that I spent on gold to buy a Mystic when it was on sale, or money to buy nuggets to complete the Shepherd staff, or money spent on gold which was then translated into PvP items that season to do better, which I didn't really do a whole lot of, but some. No, I'm not owed any money for that. We were owed money for some of the big sale stuff they did with the suits and the ISOs, because a lot of people felt tricked into believing that the game was going to exist long enough for us to get value out of those purchases. And in all honesty, that 1 month time was not really value. We didn't really consume the hamburger. We had a few bites, and then our moms came by, knocked it out of our hands, and said, "Stop eating that McDonald's, go have a salad." And we're like, "But I fucking paid for this." Beyond that,
has taken
no.
prisoners during
I'm sorry, you're not entitled to a refund based on something 4 months prior to the closing, 5 months prior to the closing, etc., etc. Now, what about games where there is just flat out misrepresentation, like, say, No Man's Sky? No Man's Sky has been very popular for walking a very, very tight line with people recently, and like Steam and the refunds and everything. People have played 10 hours worth of No Man's Sky and wanted refunds for it on Steam. Now, I will say that when Steam sees a lot of community pressure, Alien vs. Predator, No Man's Sky, they do cave in. If it's 1 or 2 people, they're probably going to be like, "Dude, you paid 10 hours for it." Do you understand what that means? That means you walked into a hamburger joint, you ordered a hamburger, medium, you got the burger, you ate 3/4 of it and tried to return it and said, "This is rare." Like, you ate 3/4 of it. If we give you a new hamburger, you've basically got 2 hamburgers for the price of 1. But then again, people are caught, because if you've only played it for an hour, people are going to be like, you didn't play it long enough to make a valid decision. If I was a brand new person to World of Warcraft, and today I installed the game and I played 1 hour of it, and I'm like, "Oh my god, no, I don't like this game, I want a refund," I would very easily say to that person, "You've only played an hour of it, you know nothing. You've not seen dungeons, you've not seen PvP, you've not seen raids, you've only probably seen the one character that you created. Try a different character, try a different race, a different faction." I would think 1 hour would not be enough. But it's very subjective per game. And well, the thing is with No Man's Sky, it is not fulfilling its promises from the hype, which is justified, and from the actual representation of the game's contents prior to it being released. There is an agency in the United Kingdom that governs advertisements that is taking a look at the advertisements for No Man's Sky to see if, in fact, it is not living up to the advertisements. And if it rules against No Man's Sky, it's not that there's going to be lawsuits, it's not that there's going to be a class action lawsuit, or them saying, "Okay, you have to give all of your No Man's Sky pre-order people all their money back and refunds." No. What they will do is say, "This print ad is misleading because what is pictured here is not featured in the game," or "this video commercial for it features space combat, and that's not in the game. So you cannot have this ad out there anymore because your product does not deliver on that." That's what the agency is going to do, is decide whether the ads are intentionally misleading. And if they find the ads to be as such, the ad will be banned, never to be allowed to be used again. So, if it appeared in British Gaptooth Playboy Monthly in July and the ad was ruled not representative, well, you're not going to see that ad again in August. That's what this body can do. But the point is, it's so bad for No Man's Sky right now. This is what they're facing. So that's another factor that comes into it. Where is really a valid cutoff to when you can ask for a refund? Some people say an hour or two is too short. Some people say double-digit hours are too long. To me, that seems very conditional. An FPS, you could probably know just about everything you're going to know about an FPS very quickly. An RPG or an MMO or a survival or a sandbox might require more time, and I don't... It would be hard to come up with a hard and fast number as to say, okay, this is the X amount of hours where you should know the game by now and cut it off. I might actually say 10 or 15. And the comeback to that is, dude, do you know how many games would be completed in 15 hours? Lots. You've played through the whole game at that point. Yeah, but you could still get the refund in the sense of you never be able to like, you can't replay it if you get the refund for it. Steam deletes it from your library. So, you paid $15, you played the game once, you're like, I'm never going to continue playing this game again, I want my money back. Yeah, that seems kind of valid. So for the second area of digital goods, we have to talk about digital media. Because this is where my opinions differ from the more too bad so sad of game content. Now, I believe if you are misled, you deserve your money back. A prime example for that, for me, was in Evolve. I purchased Evolve. I pre-ordered Evolve back in the day. And at some point, I got a set of skins for the Hunter class called Support. The main reason why I had done that is I had just gotten a new support hero called Sunny, and I wanted a set of support skins to apply to Sunny, because she was new, and she had like that default yellow, and I wanted to change that. Well, when I got that skin pack for support, it would not apply to Sunny, and Evolve's stance was that she was like too new, and that the skins were designed for the original 4 supports, not any of the new ones. And I went back and forth on the ticket and said, but you didn't claim that. You never qualified this. It said for the support class, which I took it to mean all inclusive, all support. Because you didn't say the original 4 or old or, starter ones. It says support skin. She's a support. Why are you not counting her? It really, if you think about it, they messed up because they released a hero or, a hunter right around the same time. And it was so new they didn't get a chance to code it yet. But yes, I fought for that one. But anything that was in Marvel Avengers Alliance, anything I would do in WoW, anything in Heroes of the Storm, no. I don't believe in that. TF2, you know how many millions of people bought TF2 before it went free to play? And they had to look at all these free to play noobs, as they thought, these green players playing their games. And they got to do it for free when all these people shelled out money. And shelled out money to get, like, Hat of Awesomeness and Scattergun of I Just Shot Your Mom in the Twat. That probably rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But you know what? Sorry, that's what's going to... That's what's going to happen to some things. I'm not upset Evolve went free to play. I'm getting a lot of original owner benefits from it. Same thing for when I was doing TF2 and the girlfriend was doing TF2. I got a lot of guns that were called vintage, so I did stand out. And I was rewarded for having purchased the game. So no, I'm not. I wouldn't be angry at that as a TF2 player. Marvel Heroes, the heroes used to drop out in the world. Like, you would kill a mob and a new hero would drop, like Scarlet Witch or something. But then they made it so that you could, like, buy the heroes and everything like that. Am I going to be upset about that? No. But for digital goods of digital media, albums, CDs, movies, shows, stuff like that, that's where I actually have a different opinion. So say, for example, Amazon Prime. I don't have Amazon Prime, but let's say I purchased $50 worth of movies. And I said, I want them in a streaming area. I don't want to own the Blu-ray of World of Warcraft or X-Men Apocalypse. I want the ability to have only the digital version because I don't have a Blu-ray player. I just want to stream it on everything I own. I do, but let's say I don't. So then, some point down the road, a year or two later, Amazon is like, we are not going to do the streaming service anymore. You can buy physical videos from us and that's it. Or Amazon goes totally tits up. They go, and we're like, we're not being Amazon anymore. We're going away. We're not selling stuff. That's it. And you're like, dude, what about my $200 worth of movies? My $100 worth of movies tied up in your system? What are you going to do about that? Yeah, I would really hope they make some kind of reparations for that. They either A, start cutting you digital copies, B, refund the money, or C, give you enough warning to have enough time to download the movies in your library and have local copies of it. Hello, World Quest? I'm, like, hugging you. Why have you not kicked in?
We must bolster our ranks. Seek out the withered and soothe their rage. I will beckon them to Shalaran.
So, yeah, I would totally believe that I am owed something at that point. And would want some kind of reparation for all that money that is tied up in my digital library. And that is mostly because I know that it could have been a physical good had I chosen it. And no, that's not, unlike a game, that's not really necessarily the nature of the beast when it comes to that stuff. So, yeah, that's where I tend to be a little bit different than things that go on in games. I don't know how I could really explain my reasoning for that other than a perspective that a guildmate of mine happened to say a little while ago. So I let him know, I'm like, hey, I'm having this debate about, like, the ownership of the digital goods, blah, blah. How would you feel if today you bought a mount from the WoW store and, like, in the end of December they said, we're closing the game up by March? Do you feel Blizzard owes you a refund for that mount? He's like, no, because it wasn't required. And I was like, wow, that is not a perspective on this that has come up yet. But it fits. So, for example, take the Candy Crush thing. You bought gold so that you could buy a booster because you had issues with a level. Technically, it's not required. Or Marvel Avengers Alliance. I bought gold on a gold sale so that I could get gold to buy enough items to research a Spec Ops set piece or something like that. Oh, damn. Went out of... Come here. Let me kite you into the credit area. It's weird. I mean, this guy actually counts for credit for this quest, but if I step over that invisible line just a little bit,
Fine work.
the world quest
I
goes
have
away.
no doubt that each of them would be proud to help our cause.
So, I kind of like the way my guildmate boiled it down, because it actually seems to be a nice way of summing it up. A lot of the things that you buy in a game are not required. A skin and Dota, League of Legends, Heroes of the Storm. Is the skin required? No, it's not. Is the mount in World of Warcraft required? No. Is the card pack in Hearthstone required? No. You have other ways of earning them. You could also disenchant cards you have too many of and create the card that you want. In Marvel Avengers Alliance, gold is often used to break the bad gambling of a roulette or break time. Yes, there were legitimately items that you had to buy with gold and nothing else, but the game also provided you with ways of earning gold. And unless you totally mastered everything in the game, you always had the ability to earn gold. So purchasing gold was never required. Unlike, say, purchasing an expansion pack and then not fulfilling the game during that expansion. So for example, you bought Legion to start playing in the beginning of September, and suddenly by Christmas they're announcing the end of the game. And by another month or two, the game is over. Yeah, maybe you are due for a refund for Legion. That one is a little close. He believes that one. I kind of think, that one's a little dicey, but I kind of like the required part of it. Unfortunately, it doesn't really solve the case of things like, say, Destiny, where it is required to get the newest expansion. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do anything of note in the game. And now the game is retracting from legacy consoles like the 360 and the PS3. And they're getting none of the new content, and they're getting more and more choked out of what they can't do in the older games now. So if I was a Destiny player on the 360, no, I would not feel that I'm owed the money back from previous expansions or the purchase of the base game. Like, I want a refund on Destiny. If you're going to choke me out of the game and not let me do this, that, or the other thing, I want a refund or a free upgrade to the Xbox One edition or the PS4 edition of it. No, I don't believe you are entitled to those things. That is the nature of the game for this. Digital media, though, the movies and the albums, yeah, I believe they should really give you something back for that. If you have hundreds of dollars of albums tied up in iTunes or movies tied up in Amazon Prime, yeah, I do believe those are yours, quote unquote. And you are owed something. Do I believe if I bought $20 worth of gold in Marvel Avengers Alliance so that I could purchase the cube on sale? Do I believe that that cube is mine and I own that and you owe me stuff if you take that cube away from me by closing the game? No, I don't. My purchase was for the gold, and then after that gold is converted, it doesn't mean anything. If they took away maybe that gold from me, yeah, we might have to talk about that. But when that happened in Marvel Avengers Alliance, Facebook stepped in and repaid you for it. So if you got August's gold sale, you got money back for that. You got your 50 or your 100 back if you followed a ticket. So I don't know. I believe that when it comes to game items and everything, unless it is flat out misrepresentation or just buggy crap like Aliens vs. Predator or the misrepresentation of No Man's Sky and everything, no, I don't believe you are entitled to that. If I buy a mount today and the game ends 2 months from now, no. I mean, tomorrow, a month, maybe, because then I'm buying something I literally got no usage out of. But, you know, beyond a month or two, I think you've got your use out of it, and that's it. And you're not entitled to a refund. So, let me know what you think about this debate in the comments down below. Keep it civil. I mean, you can certainly get animated and upset at everything, but, like, don't try to get into name calling and be like, you're a stupid fucking idiot, and, like, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, present your points for it. You want to debate me on it? You know I'll reply, so if you share a differing opinion other than the fuck you played on me, greedy bastards, that's not what I'm looking to work with here. I mean, make a valid case for your point, like, yes, I do believe we should be reimbursed because blah, blah, blah. Or it's in the EULA, or it's in the contract that you click OK, something along those lines. So, thanks for watching the video, guys. And, you know, let's get a discussion going.